morning, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cinch University. Today, I'm joined with franchise owner Jay Small. Jay's a multi-unit territory owner out of Woburn and Newton, Massachusetts, and he's joining us today. Jay, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So today, we're actually going to talk about something that I think you excel in and why I thought you'd be the perfect guest. We're going to be talking about how to network the right way, okay? I've seen salespeople over the years come in and out that do plenty of networking, but not necessarily the right way, right? They spin their tires, they waste their time, or maybe they're just connecting with the wrong people. So I wanted to bring you on and get your advice on how to network the right way. So let's start off with first, who do you look to network with? What makes a good partner for you to network with?
So the best partners for us are people that I know are getting in front of similar clients, so that could be industry or size or both, and they have a propensity to actually bring us up in a typical conversation that they have. So people that are dealing directly with maybe internal IT people or IT teams at this organization. So for example, internet service providers are great networking partners. They're dealing directly with the technology. It makes perfect sense for them to ask, who's your IT support coming from? Is it internal? Is it another company? And then that sets them up to refer us. Phone systems, same way. Like anybody who's working with the technology point of contact at that company is like a top level, like great referral partner for us.
Makes perfect sense. So guys, here at Cinch IT, what we technically call that a tier 1 partner. Basically their customers could also be our customers and vice versa. So, if you're in the sales world or you're just in business in general, because everybody's in the sales world, start to think about those partners who have customers that would be great customers of yours. And again, vice versa, so that you can refer them and they can refer you. So IT, we do IT support for businesses. So the automotive mechanic might not be the greatest referral partner in the world, though we probably could use them a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe we can refer business to him, and then maybe someday, he comes across that one person over 5 years.
Exactly, it's possible, but it might not be a good use of our time.
There's not a high likelihood, so you shouldn't spend, a day a week meeting with him.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So let's talk about what that meeting looks like so that you get the most out of that meeting. The agenda. When you meet with a referral partner, let's just say you're grabbing coffee or you're jumping on a Zoom or a Teams meeting or something like that, right? A virtual meeting. Do you have an agenda that you like to typically go through, or are you guys just sitting down, winging it and catching up? What's that look like?
So for a networking one-off meeting, I don't like to keep a formal agenda. I feel like that gets too far off of
it's too business.
Yeah, it's
at that point.
Business focused. You obviously want to be focused on business, but you want to have a lighthearted conversation. I don't want people to get nervous and stiffen up or anything like that. So I always let the other person talk first. I always like to hear what they've been up to, hear what they've been working on, hear what they've been having success with. So I'm taking some notes on how I could potentially help them in the future. Because if they're getting in front of clients that are good fits for us, we're probably getting in front of clients that are good fits for them. So obviously, if you take that mindset of the giver's gain mentality, that's a good way to be. But at the same time, what I'm listening for are opportunities that they may have been working on or just closed that could potentially be good opportunities for us. And then I always shift the conversation to, okay, how can we help one another? Is there any chance you can introduce me to these people? Do you have a good enough rapport with them at this point that you can make a direct introduction? If not, then maybe I can give them some pointers on some questions they can ask or some things that could potentially allow them to qualify the people that they're talking to see if they're a good fit for our services or not. And then at the same time, I'll talk about who I've been working with lately and what I've been working on. Say, hey, would any of this be valuable to you? Because I'm comfortable making an introduction to this person over here if you guys have a service that can help them. Especially if they're, an internet or a phone company or something that my client's already using. All I have to do is talk to my client and say, hey, how satisfied are you with this right now? If we can find you some savings or a better company to pair with or more reliable service, would you be open to that? And then it makes it an easy introduction. So basically I'm looking for that from them. And then, I in return see how I can do that for them.
Makes sense. Now, do you guys typically have a conversation of what is not a good referral on both sides, or do you just kind of educate the person over time as they give you a referral?
So I always let people know what a good referral isn't. And then a lot of times people reach out to me anyway. So before they make the direct introduction, say, hey, I just met this person. not sure if this is a good fit or not. And then 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, hey, let's have a conversation with them, because it's hard to disqualify somebody unless they're like really just too small, or like whatever, like if there's really an outlier that disqualifies them right off the bat, that's one thing. But in most cases, there's a lot of gray area, so it involves a conversation. So I'm always open to talk to somebody, see if we're a good fit or not, and go from there. But yeah, I always talk about what aren't good fits for us, and then if somebody refers me somebody who's not a good fit, I always sort of follow up with them, hey, thanks for thinking of me and referring that person over, but this is why that wasn't that great of a referral.
And then, educate each other.
And then educate each other, because I'm sure I do the same thing to people. It's like I send somebody over because I heard one quick buzzword or keyword and sent them over, and it wasn't a good referral. So I want to learn how I can make better referrals to that person in the future, and in return, I think they want to do the same thing, because at the end of the day, we don't want to waste our clients' time either for sending them to people that can't help them out.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes perfect sense. So I think probably the last question I have for you that listeners are probably interested in is how often you're meeting with these referral partners, right? Obviously, in my opinion, it certainly has to be enough that you're top of mind with them, right? You don't want anybody to ever think about you, and also frequent enough that you're probably establishing a good relationship. You've transitioned over to, business referral partners into that friend zone, right? You guys are actual friends. So for you, how often do you meet with or talk to your referral partners? What's that look like?
So honestly, I'm in so many networking groups that a lot of my good referral partners I see anyway as part of these groups, and then maybe I'll meet with them one-to-one, like once a month, on top of like our regular like weekly group meetings, or like every other week group meetings. Or maybe I'm just shooting them an email and catching up with them that way, or giving them a quick phone call to see how things are going. But I'm always trying to stay in touch every couple of weeks. So I'd say every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the type of relationship I have with that person. Just following up, whether it's sending them a quick article that made me think of them, reaching out because I have a client that may benefit from their service and I want to ask them some questions, or just seeing how things are going.
Makes perfect sense. Jay, thanks for being on the show today. I appreciate it. I know our listeners always love hearing from your advice. Look forward to having you on the next episode.
Thanks, Rick.
Absolutely. So guys, thanks again for joining us to another episode of Cinch University. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you found it valuable. If you have any questions for Jay, feel free to put them in the comments below. We'll make sure he gets those answers to you. We'll put them up for you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Again, I hope you found value. If you did, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. We have videos like this all the time. Thanks, guys.